United States spends upwards of $700 billion on its defense spending, but what if I told you that this was all completely necessary? United States defense spending promotes economic growth, provides millions of jobs, as well as ensures the protection of all the citizens of this great nation. During my speech today, I will be aiming to persuade you all that it is crucial the United States defense budget remains at its high value due to the fact that it promotes economic growth as well as ensures our nation's security. As I've already mentioned earlier in this speech, the United States military is provides millions of jobs for Americans, and according to a 2015 article from MarketWatch, the US Department of Defense was the largest employer in the world with a staff of around 3.2 million people. Now, I'd like to discuss with you all why this topic is important, and that is because the coronavirus pandemic has set this nation's economy back in ways that we really have never seen before. According to a 2020 scholarly article from Economic Perspectives and Applied Economic Perspectives and Policy, the United States unemployment rate reached an astounding 14.7% in April 2020, the effects of which can still be felt in our economy today. Furthermore, I will be providing you all with important statistics involving high military spending and its impact on economic growth as well as our nation's security, as well as providing a relative example for why our nation's security should remain a top priority today. Now let us begin by looking at statistics involving high military spending and economic growth. As I've mentioned earlier, the US military is the largest employer in the world, but it is important that we look at what our military spending does to our overall economy. According to a 2010 scholarly article from Defense and Peace Economics, a study done showed a positive correlation between economic growth and high military spending. Now, this is important because economic growth is something that we are in desperate need of and going to be in continued need of due to the negative effects that coronavirus has laid on our economy, as I've mentioned previously. Not only does the increase in defense spending promote economic growth, it also provides jobs for those outside the military as well. According to a 2021 Investopedia article, private sector jobs are opened up when there's an increase in military activity. And these jobs can range from things such as defense contractors to even restaurant employees whose restaurants thrive in locations near military bases. I'd now like to discuss how high military spending has impacted our nation's security. And an important question that we need to ask ourselves is if we're spending so much on our defense, are we at least being well protected? The stat I will be showing you all today will show that our money is not being wasted. According to a 2021 Global Firepower article, the United States ranks first in terms of overall military strength. So as you can see, our dollars are being put to good use. And it is important that we keep this number one overall ranking. And that the reason that it's important we do this is to deter any nation from launching an attack on us or any of our allies. I'm sure the last thing any of us want to see is this country go through another war. Now, let's discuss an important example of why the nation's security should remain a top priority. As I've mentioned a few times, the coronavirus has really shaken up the world in a negative way. And one country, that country being China in particular, has taken this bizarre time as an opportunity to take advantage of other nations' struggles. According to a 2021 scholarly article from Orbis, China has seen the coronavirus as an opportunity to exploit United States weaknesses. Now, China is the United States military's biggest rival, so lowering our defense spending and in turn lowering our overall military strength would provide them with ample opportunity to take advantage of us during these difficult times. It's vital that we maintain our military prowess in order to deter such acts of aggression. I would now like to address a common counterargument, being that other important areas in the United States are not receiving enough funding due to the high funding the military receives. And according to a 2020 book titled Military Spending and Global Security, Humanitarian and Environmental Views, edited by Jordi Roufangis, The United States has seen a decrease in affordable education and an increase in overall environmental concerns. And while the United States is by no means perfect, lowering the funding of the number one employer in the world is not the solution to these problems. In fact, according to a 2019 Brooking.edu article, Pentagon spending in terms of overall GDP share is relatively modest, and as in comparison to previous decades. For example, in the 60s, GDP share of the Pentagon was 9%, while now it is only barely over 3%. In summary, I have talked to you all today about the United States defense spending and how, when it is increased or at its high value, that economic growth and military security are promoted. And I have also discussed with you all a relative example of why our security is important. The U.S. has the strongest military in the world, but if we are not careful and continue to lower the U.S. defense budget, the advantage that we maintain will diminish a lot faster than me or you would like to think about. All in all, I'd like to leave you guys with one final message. During these uncertain times, one thing needs to remain certain: the United States military needs the funding that it has in order to protect this great nation. Thank you.